conditions, if any, should be placed on U.S. military aid to Israel? You have 60 seconds.
Yeah, so when it comes down to aid, I want people to understand that right now, again, we have an enforcement issue in this country. We have rules. If there is a violation of international law, then we are not supposed to continue to send the money. We are supposed to stop the money.
Which fair. We have international courts saying, "Hey, they're committing a genocide. What are we doing?"
As we have Republicans
I
that
didn't
control
mean
the
to do
House,
that.
Republicans that control. The issue isn't whether or not we're writing enough laws. Our issue is whether or not we are actually going to enforce them. And right now, as we have Republicans that control the House, Republicans that control the Senate, and a Republican in the White House, unfortunately, there's a bunch of cowardness instead of courage to decide that they are going to say, this is the reports that we have, and therefore we need to enforce the law. I'm happy to say that in May of 2024, I signed on to a letter that was led by Representative Jayapal. That letter actually went to President Biden. It was specifically on this issue and saying, President Biden, you don't need to authorize further munitions at this moment because there is evidence that there are problems and therefore there are violations of international law.
Mr. Talarico.
So my question here, just real quick, and then we'll go back to Talarico. Jasmine, you said there is violations of the courts. You said that they were doing bad things. You said that we should stop funding them. Okay. So why is it then that you turn around and you post this here? All right. Nope. He posts it. She says, "Thank you for knowing that it wasn't what it's been painted to be and asking genuinely. I'm going to tell you here and damn you even more details because you sound like you care to know. We have a total of 12 appropriation bills that have to pass to keep the government open. Two of the 12 were put into one bill, which honestly is fucking ridiculous. Arizona state legislature has single subject ballot laws, which means that if you're proposing any form of law, it has to only follow that one subject. You can't say fund all the puppies and also make sure that all the kids get no lunches. You can't do ridiculous crap like this. The things that Congress does. Congress says, well, you can do quid pro quo, and so they allow it. It's devious. It's gross. Fucking make single subject laws. That's something I would do. Anyway, let's go back. Two of the 12 were put into one bill, in addition to the Israel dollars that were part of the Memorandum of Understanding that went into effect before I was ever even sworn into any office for 10 years, starting in 2018 to 2028, for $3.3 billion. You don't have to trust me. Google MOU versus U.S. Israel. Most importantly, this protected federal workers in the U.S. See, here's the thing. You can always argue, no, we need to change that. You can just change the budgets later on. You can. And even if people are going to steamroll you, you can give them hell. You can give them attrition. You can uh, demand process for every single step of the way. You can demand that they pause, they take a moment here, and they have to introduce the bill. Then they have to have everyone talk. And you can do every little minor step, the little malicious compliance, if you will. If you really don't like something, you can give people help. People like Jasmine Crockett don't do that. Most importantly, this protected federal workers in the U.S. From being out of work. And so if we shut down, it won't be a complete government shutdown. And it provided UN dollars while Trump is trying to get the world to turn against us. Aid for so many other countries, HIV dollars, small business bills, etc. 96% of the bill was not about Israel. As a member of the minority, I don't set the agenda for the bills on the floor and have voted for bills that have things that I disagree with them in them because very few bills that the Republicans put up with will be perfect. But this was not an Israel bill. It was 2 out of 12 appropriation bills in one vote, which is bullshit. I I think that's absolutely ridiculous. I think that they need to have single subject laws for these kind of things. I know that she can't do that overnight, right? That would require actual Congress passing laws and whatnot. And she's a minority, and they're not. I'm not going to give up that power. And just so you know where my headspace is on this. Okay, so she says that, right? And you saw her talking points. And meanwhile, Track APAC is already given a warning that she is a pro-Israel representative. You know, she hasn't taken any money from APAC, but she is definitely still leaning towards them. Here's the thing: when Israel turns around and starts a bunch of fights with other countries, and you still continue to fund them, all of these new things. By the way, here's the tracking back. I didn't flip my camera. Then what you end up doing is you just defend the bully. It's like saying, "Hey, you can't punch anyone, but if anyone comes and punches you, we're gonna stop them." And that's so ridiculous because that just enables them to still do things, right? That still just enables Israel to actually go out and do things. And it's not like they don't have the money. They have universal health care. They have universal education, things we pay for because they get our money from them. They're basically the 51st fucking state. And yet they're not acknowledged as an international lobby or anything like that. They got a lot of favoritism that is pretty absurd. Um, but it's just she doesn't talk about these things. Mind you, she had a minute, but she can't say that it's a genocide. She can't say that it's war crimes. Let's see if Talarico gives a better answer when we flip back over to him. Let me make sure that's all correct. Yep.
Rico, same question. What conditions, if any, should be placed on U.S. military aid to Israel? You have 60 seconds.
As an educator who has fought for children, seeing what's happening in Gaza makes me sick to my stomach. I quoted a theologian the other day who said, "I screamed at God for the starving children until I realized the starving children was God screaming at me." God is screaming at all of us in Gaza as we speak. Yes, Israel has a right to defend its people.
James, God isn't just screaming. The children are having to sing and harmonize with the goddamn drones that fly over them. Children are singing and humming along with drones because they're so goddamn loud, because they're constantly surveying them, because they are tracking them with techno feudalist and AI technology from fucking Palantir, an Oracle, who, mind you, just bought TikTok and owns over 20% of TikTok. That's a separate conversation here. But James, tell me more about how the children are struggling in Israel.
Certainly after October 7th, the deadliest day for the Jewish people since the Holocaust. But Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu does not have the right to wage war against civilians. He does not have the right to restrict aid. He does not have the right to use famine or collective punishment as tactics in that effort. And so I have said that if I'm in the United States Senate, I will use every bit of this country's financial and diplomatic leverage to end the death and destruction in Gaza, which means banning offensive weapons.
Question: did Talarico actually push for divesting from Israel, even on a local scale? Let me see. Let's go. James Talarico, divest from Israel, bill in Texas. What? No, get the fuck out of here. Let's hear. Thank you, AI. As of January 2026, Texas State Rep and U.S. Candidate James Talarico has not sponsored or introduced a divest from Israel bill in the Texas legislature. So you're going to say you're going to do everything you can in Congress, but then not do anything in the legislature? Even the bill that you know is going to get shot down would still be something, right? He's advocated for federal action to restrict types of military aid, calling for ban of sale of offensive weapons while continuing to support defensive systems. It's like it's defending the bully again, right? We just got done talking about that. So let's. He's got 20 seconds left.
Government and ensuring that we have candidates all across this country who are going to speak the truth about this issue.
That concerns me, and I'll get to it.
And I
Just
have done that
put the prize in
repeatedly.
the bag.
I would not vote to Benjamin Netanyahu that he is currently using to slaughter children in Gaza.
Okay, cool. Your take is you'll divest and you will tell them to not vote for a war criminal. But you didn't even say war criminal. You didn't even say war criminal. You didn't say he's doing war crimes. You didn't call it a genocide. You didn't stand there and have the great opportunity, mind you. Crockett's already got the establishment vote, right? She is basically a Kamala Harris just on a congressional level instead, or I guess back when she was in Congress. Um, Now, my concern is that I hate cowardly moves like this, right? James had the perfect opportunity where after he said this bit, he could have added, go a little over time, but you do this and they will push it and they will have to answer and acknowledge it. If you don't believe me, just watch the freaking New York City mayoral debate. They pushed and broke rules. Like, yeah, a little like loud. Be fucking mad. Stop being goddamn sad about, oh, they're being mean. Be angry. Show me your goddamn anger. Stand there and tell Jasmine that I will not beat around the bush any longer. That's a way to kind of brush and apologize for the past of wishy-washiness. But stand there and say, I will not be some spineless DNC consultant um, and paid for by lobbyists here. I'm here to represent the people because, mind you, he's a small dollar candidate. Tell them that Israel is committing a genocide. Tell them that we need to divest all funds from Israel, which he's already talked about, that we need to not fund a single goddamn weapon. I don't care if it's a fucking armor. I don't care if it's goddamn Kevlar. Okay? Nothing goes over to Israel. They pick those fights. They can fucking deal with it. Call it a goddamn genocide. And turn to Crockett and ask her, will you call this a genocide? Will you admit that this is a genocide, that they are committing war crimes, that Benjamin Netanyahu is a war criminal who should be arrested and sentenced by the international courts? Because, James, if you did that right there, you would have drawn a goddamn line in the sand. Blood would have spilled in the pool, and the sharks would have ate her up. Because you know what? She is an establishment Democrat. And right now, if you've been seeing the goddamn writing on the walls, we're getting to a point where on the left-hand side in the Democratic Party, we're having a liberal versus socialism, basically, debate about things. And, you know, the Democratic Party is getting wedged further and further on these things. The establishment is having to break. They're getting challenged in their midterms. They're not comfy, cozy seats that they could just win through. Chuck Schumer is not going to win his next seat. Hakeem Jeffries, honestly, in his area, he might be super popular, but he's still going to get some fire put under him. It's just, you got to understand. You got to take the actual stakes and put the actual message out there. If you want to be part of these movements, part of a better tomorrow, then either stand 10 toes down and actually commit, have a goddamn spine, and tell them that it's a genocide. Speak honest and truthful to your viewers, to your constituents, or get out of the way. Because this post, mind you, this is um, this is a great way to kind of just skim. Mind you, it's Reddit, so take with salt. But Jews of consciousness, they're Jews that acknowledge that Israel is doing a genocide, that Israel alone does not represent all Jews because that would be anti-Semitic. That we have to acknowledge that to be Jewish does not mean Israel is a sole representation of you. Um, we need to go here and think about where is the line in the sand. And if you truly want the moral high ground, as he's trying to claim with being a pastor background and like this church, and talk about still clearly having God carried around in his politics, then you need to actually act like it. You need to be able to come here and be honest. But anyway, that's all I got here for you tonight. It is about 20 minutes in. I'm going to cut this down and edit it around tomorrow. This is just a little video I wanted to make because my name is Gavin Dougal, Gavin Publicola Dougal. My name is Gavin Publicola Dougal, and I am running for Arizona State Legislature. And when I am in office, I will have Arizona divest all funds from Israel, or I'll put the bill in and hopefully it actually gets to someone, because at that point we get to have a leverage, right? We get to put the other politicians on the spot and say, hey, they're committing war crimes. Did you not see enough footage? Did you not hear the bombs fall? And mind you, war crimes are uniparty, but I hate the idea that local levels just can't do anything. We're still invested in Israel. We have bonds, even in Arizona, that go there. We have Raytheon in Arizona that creates the goddamn missiles that go to David slings and the Golden Dome, the defense systems out there. Iron Dome, sorry. Golden Dome is what Charles Trump built. So there is always action we can take. There are people who will stand up and fight, and I don't know who these two people are, but Talarico needs to get in line. That would be my best bet. I don't have faith for Crockett to suddenly go woke, so to speak. But yeah. Follow along for more. There will be a Discord in the Reddit, Discord in the comments below here. I am just starting this page here. I have never taken a dollar from a billionaire or spoken to another politician about my policies and plans. I will be talking more about my individual plans, about what makes legislative change possible, about the ongoings and events in Arizona, and I'll also just be using these videos as an excuse to practice my own speech and have live streams with other constituents. When I talk about policies and bills, people can talk about it back to me and go, hey, what about this and this and this? And I go, yeah, let's talk about that. Let's expand these things so that when I'm in office, that we actually get to win, and we get to represent the people, because I rather talk to 1,000 Arizonans about their opinions and thoughts on things rather than go talk to a DNC Washington consultant. So anyway, thank you for watching here. Subscribe, follow along for more, and thank you.